If you can see me, drop a 2. If you can hear me, drop a 1. If you can see me, drop a 2. I haven't had any issues for like the past week. You know what I'm saying? But you know what they say. Anytime you trying to do something great, you're always going to run into issues. Yo, y'all already know what it is. I'm going to repeat it. If you can hear me, drop a 1 in the comments. It is always more important for me to be heard than for me to be seen. And if you can see me, go ahead and drop that 2. Let's go ahead and see who we got in the building watching on this evening. Yo, it's crazy. So I can see Facebook is working. I can see YouTube is working. I see we got Claude Hamilton in the building saying video is bomb. Yo, appreciate you, bro. Happy New Year. We got Steve back in the building. We got a 1 and a 2. We got 1, 2, and 3. Well, shout out to Dean Dorsey. What's going on? Yo, y'all do me a favor. Go ahead and share this with your favorite content creator. Go ahead and share this with your favorite YouTuber, your favorite podcaster, your favorite filmmaker, your favorite brand strategist, your favorite graphic designer. I'm not going to try to hold you no longer than an hour tonight, you know what I'm saying? And this is how you can know I'm out of shape. Yo, we talked about this last week, and I'm not just talking about physically. I'm talking about in terms of stream or whatever. Like for real. We got together last Monday, had a great time, and it was absolutely awesome. You know, I appreciate John coming through, Steve coming through, Judy coming through, Flo coming through. We just had a real good conversation. You know, the other night, you know, so everything is great, loud and clear. JP High Tech, what's going on, man? Good to see you, bro. Claude, miss you, man. We definitely need some of this more joy in this world, bro. Let me tell you something. It's been, you know, a doozy, but we're not gonna complain. We're not gonna say nothing, you know, out the way, this, that, and the third, whatever. Now, one thing y'all know about me, I cannot stand to just sit here, listen to myself, be quiet. So let me know if y'all can still hear me over the background music or whatever. All right. So, yo, just double check. You know what I'm saying? Dean Reed, my 2023 catalog was crazy. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Again, do me a favor. Go ahead and share this with everybody. Like, for those of you who are on Facebook, appreciate you liking, share, comment, tag, let's engage. If you're on YouTube, I definitely appreciate you stopping by. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. You are going to be stuck in front of your screens tonight. Go ahead and hit that bell so you can be notified every single time I'm posting new content to the channel. I got a special surprise for y'all, though. I got a special surprise for y'all. I got a special surprise for y'all. I'm getting set up now. How was your day? 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 I want to talk to y'all. I want to engage. How was your day? How was your day? Especially for my creatives. What y'all got going on? What y'all got going on? What do y'all have 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 going on? Releases are in the SoundCloud. Okay, great. Absolutely. Good to see you. But man, listen, let's go ahead and get this popping off. Y'all give me 1 second. 1 second. I'm working on something for y'all. Boom, 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 boom. All right, we're good to go. All right, so I do definitely want to talk about a couple of things before we get, okay, bet. Before we get into the conversation tonight, you know what I'm saying? So let me go ahead. Let's do this like it was supposed to go the first time. And let's make sure that this works. All right, that's like the corniest thing ever, but it's just something to really kind of wake you up because I know people be asleep. First starting off, man, just so y'all know, we will be going live. You know what I'm saying? Every Monday you can find me right here. Every single Monday it is happening. It is taking place Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I need y'all to go ahead, you know what I'm saying? Put that on your calendar, let you know Walt is going to be live every Monday talking about everything that has to do with create, inspire, and solve. I believe that God put me on this earth to do 3 specific things, and I think I do them the way that I do them. I don't think anybody else does them like me. And so 2024 is all about streamlining. All about streamlining, coming back to a place of being centered and being grounded, really just kind of getting back to basics. But one of the things that I really did want to talk about tonight is what we have going on. Number one, y'all already know what I'm streaming with. I'm streaming with ECAMM. You know what I'm saying? So for all of my Mac users out there where you still have not made up your mind, like you don't know, you know what I'm saying, what's going on, what's best for you, you need to be streaming with the best platform in the land. Absolutely. This is how I'm able to do all of this. Don't mind the technical difficulties that I had in the beginning. That had nothing to do with ECAMM, but ECAMM, man, is what I use for everything. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's to go live like I'm doing right now, whether it's for content creation, I record all of my reels, all of my shorts, all of my, you know, when I'm doing private webinars, I do a lot of coaching and consulting behind the scenes. I do a lot of reviews and all these different types of things. So, you know, ECAMM is just a full suite. A lot of people just think it's for live streaming, but as you can see right now, ECAMM is for everything. Something special for you. ECAMM is not sponsoring this video. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Those are my people. But for you, I'm going to do something special. I'll give you 14 days free. 14 days free of ECAMM for all of my Mac people that, you know what I'm saying, you haven't made up your mind yet, like you don't know what's good for you. 14 days free. All you got to do is go to the link, walterjeanette.com/ECAMM. walterjeanette.com/ECAMM. This is a real free trial. You don't even have to put your credit card in. You do not have to even put your credit card in. It is a real free trial. Don't even put your credit card in. You get 14 days free. Again, don't y'all ask me about if you're a Windows user, whether it's coming to PC. It's not. This is for my Mac people. I'm apostolic. I hope you're apostolic too. But again, I'm giving you 14 days free just to figure it out, just to get all the bells and whistles. It is a paid platform, but I guarantee you it'll pay for itself. So again, all you got to do is go to that link, walterjeanette.com/ECAMM, if you want to get that for free. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in the world of what we got going on today, man. Real quick, shout out to my guy Kirk Nugent, man. Congratulations. He was just live a little while ago. Congratulations to Kirk on hitting 8,000 subscribers. Y'all see that right there? Y'all see that big 8? It's the number of new beginners, man. So we shout out, you know, things getting ready to take off. Kirk, shout out to Kirk. This is what the Create segment is all about. It gives us an opportunity, you know, to just talk about what's going on in the industry. You know, shout out some of our peers, any other technology that's happening. CES just took place. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if any of you all went to that. Definitely let me know. What did you get from CES? I got some content coming up. This is not probably new to most of you who are watching. But then again, a lot of you are really just kind of getting into the content creation space. So there is a company called OzBot, who really, I'll go to the homepage, you know, really made a splash as it relates, you know, to like webcams and different things like that. You know, some of you have seen the Tiny, you've seen the Tiny 4K. These are the things that have the auto tracking, you know, so they actually follow you. So if you're a chef, you know, or something like that, if you're an athlete, this is dope. But content that's going to be coming your way from my channel, you want to stay tuned for. This is why you need to hit the subscribe button. The Tail Air. I know you've probably seen it from a lot of other people, but OzBot reached out and I did decide, and we've been trying to do this for the past year. I just really haven't had the time or the desire, but I got my units in and I've been playing with them for about the past 2 weeks. And the auto tracking is serious. One of my biggest things, anytime I get a chance to review a product, I'm big on context and I want to be able to use it in a real world environment. And so a lot of what I do, you know, I did let them know I'm in the faith-based space, you know, so I wanted to see how this works for ministries and churches. I think it'd be dope for smaller ministries, you know, just outside of something, you know, doing something in your home office or studio or whatever. Yeah, but I don't know if y'all hear that button. I don't know if y'all hear that button, but like I said, we got something special, you know what I'm saying, working on, but I'm gonna get to that in a second. Other than that, you know, we got the mainstream in the building, the Mackie mainstream. This, if you don't know, is kind of compared to the Rode Streamer X. Rode Streamer X, you know, was the greatest thing since sliced bread. to hit the market, kind of talking about just, you know, 4K capture card. You know, if you were a gamer, if you're a content creator, you know. StreamerX had a lot of issues. I'm not gonna say a lot of issues, but it did have a lot of issues. And so if you were a PC user, I think you were fine. A lot of my ECAMM people, my Mac people, it is what it is. So another piece of content, you know, we're gonna be talking about the road to StreamerX, man. One of the other things that I did want to kind of mention that I think blew my mind. I don't know if y'all all saw this today. Taylor Swift, reports came out that Taylor Swift generated a whopping $330 million for the NFL. Basically, long story short, ever since Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce have been dating, and this just came out today. Again, we know the Chiefs won yesterday, but y'all already know what's getting ready to come from this. His jersey sales have shot through the roof. The Chiefs shot through the roof. You know, you can only imagine what's getting ready to happen with the Super Bowl. Yo, real talk. Usher better watch out. I would not be surprised if we saw a special guest appearance from Taylor Swift with Usher at the Super Bowl, just so they can put that many more female eyes on the Super Bowl. That's a huge marketing rabbit hole. I'm probably gonna talk more about this on next week's show, because again, I want to get to the special surprise I got for you all. But yeah, we'll really, I don't know, man. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, Taylor, all I know is they better not ever break up. But the crazy part is that story might be worth more, you know, after they actually break up than if they stay together. So let's check back in on the comments to see what we got going on with the people. Trend. Hey, first of all, before we get into the real conversation tonight, shout out to DGK. Shout out to my kids. Y'all see what, I don't know if y'all can see what that says, but it says straight dubs, Mr. Walter the GOAT. This is one of the things, man, that keeps me inspired. This is one of the things, man, that keeps me inspired. Y'all know I love the kids, and that's one of the things that keeps me leveled, keeps me centered, and keeps me grounded. One of the next things that I did want to get to, we're gonna go on to the next segment, and I promise you, we're getting out of here. Let's talk about All right, let's talk about this whole inspiration thing, man. I want to show y'all something real quick. I don't know what ECAMM is doing tonight, but I'm gonna be very transparent with y'all, and this is going to lead in my third conversation tonight, and I want to dedicate all my time to that because I don't want to hold up my guest. I got a comment on a video 2 days ago, and I'm gonna find it here. I'm gonna share it with you all. Y'all know me. I'm not one of those influencers. I ain't got nothing to hide. I show you receipts. I'm gonna zoom in so y'all can see it. I'm gonna zoom in on this so y'all can see it. 2 days ago, I listened for the first 3 minutes and 19 seconds and still no content. This is the longest intro ever. 8 days ago, you can see, hey, great video, good information and to the point. You know, I want to show you guys another comment. Dude, this was so much help. Thank you. Really helpful, you know. Good info. Keep up the great work. This was the other comment from a month ago. You talk too much, bro. WTF. Yo, now I want to show y'all can see my reply right here. You know what I said? I actually do appreciate this comment. I'm big on context and telling you my thoughts about the mic, but I also find myself frustrated with other video creators that do the same thing I'm doing. So my goal is to provide my viewers with the most information possible while also recognizing the need to get straight to the point. So thank you for bringing that to light. This was a video concerning the Rode Video Go Mic 2 and how to actually connect that to your iPhone. One of the more popular videos on my channel. You know what I'm saying? And so, hey, you know, there's a lot of conversation going on about creating content, and it's not to really scare you all, because I try to push a lot of people to creating content, but this is one of the things that people are afraid of, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is entitled to their opinion. And this is one of those things that really was constructive, because one of the things I struggle with personally is I know my audience loves context. Do I forsake the majority of my audience, the 90 to 95% that says, hey, great video, good information, to the point, for the one person that's like, man, I wish you would get straight to it? So I've always kind of battled that. And when I try to do videos that went straight to the point, they weren't really authentic, and they never really performed the way that my other videos typically do. So that I really just wanted to bring that out. Number one, to inspire you to just not be afraid of the people's faces. If we were in church, there's scripture that justifies that, but don't be afraid of people's faces. And even though you can't see the faces, these are the things that keep people from creating. One thing I say is if you're not doing it wrong, you're not doing it right, because it's not meant for you to be perfect. It's just meant for you to show up and be present. So you take that. If you're not, if you're not doing it wrong, you're not doing it right, because no matter how great you get, there's still always an opportunity for you to improve. But let's get to this third thing. Let's get to the reason why we are all here. I'm going to play this video real quick, and then we're going to get to the conversation for why you actually came in. Should you be creating content for yourself, or should you be creating content for your audience?
Do we create for ourselves, or do we create for our audience?
The audience comes last. And the audience comes last, not because I don't care about them or I don't like the audience. In service to the audience, they have to come last. Yeah. The thing that the audience wants is the best thing they can get.
The conversation was really about how artists are so attached to other people's opinion and what they're going to think about the art, that the art becomes watered down. And essentially artists, creators, right? It's a very similar world.
If you are only creating for others, it's going to create some type of burnout, whether it's like depletion burnout or like alignment burnout.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just talked about this last week if you were on the show Monday, and this really lit a fire into me. And, I had my thoughts or whatever, but I thought it would only be right to have a conversation with somebody we call the content queen herself. We have none other than the content queen herself. Miss Nikki Saunders is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Nikki, what's good with you?
What's poppin'? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm glad to have you on. You out here starting trouble. You and Moose out here starting trouble in the content streets. When I saw the post, and everybody had things to kind of say, but this is a conversation that I've been having a lot lately, and I think this kind of lends back to the previous thing I was talking about, as far as we see so many people quitting. That's the biggest. I don't even. It's like it's trendy to quit right now. Some of the biggest creators in the world are quitting, and I think to that point, we see a lot of people pivoting. And Marquez Brownlee has come out and said, "Hey, I'm here to stay. These are the things I'm doing, and I recommend you can do to kind of stay level set." Last week we talked about. I told people, I said I would not be shocked or surprised if I saw Think Media in the next 3, and I said 3 to 5. I don't know the way things are going. I see them pivoting in a way where it's like what's next? Like, do I still want to do this? Omar is kind of doing, he's still connected, but he's doing his own thing. Sean is kind of, so it's like, man, what is going on? And then we just see other people that's like, I've been doing this for like 10 years and people have pushed us to the limits as it relates to expectations. And so I just wanted to get, have a conversation with you about what came first, either the chicken or the egg. You are the content queen. And I did get a chance to listen, to the podcast, with you and Moose, and get some insight on how you all felt about it. But I want to really hear your opinion. Like, where do you fall at in this conversation? Like, is it because you all talked about, are you creating content for the business? Are you in the business of creating content? Or are you creating content, basically, are you the business and creating content for yourself? So I really wanted my audience to get a chance to kind of hear from you and your position on it.
So just like how I said in the podcast, I was kind of torn, right?
Right.
I'm a servant at heart. So I'm always going to go for the audience first.
Right.
I believe, and I put it on threads earlier where I said, when you're starting out as like your personal brand creator, whatever you want to categorize yourself as, no one cares about you, right?
Please say that
And
again.
so, oh, sure, no one cares about you. We
Facts.
all we care about is the value
Right.
that you are going to give us. So with that, for me to just start with what I want to create, and then I know that's going to be the extremely long road where we're always, regardless of the advice that we're given, don't compare, blah, 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 right? It's hard not to look at numbers. It's hard not to look at other people, some of your peers, and being like, you know what? We started at the same time.
Right.
Like,
Ooh.
really, it's not even, I'm not even
Right.
looking at it from those people who've been here doing it 6, 7, 8 years.
Right.
That's delusional. If I'm going to
Right.
be like, okay, I'm going to start and I'm going to go viral, and that's just, but to look at it from a standpoint of, I'm going to start with just what I want to do, and then that's it. You're not thinking business wise.
Right.
You're not thinking monetization wise.
Right.
It's not an impossible road, but it's a longer road. So go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, would you say like I always refer to my grandmother. My grandmother, I love older people, but my grandmother would say, start out like you can hold out. Just some real country, phrase. Shout out to the 252, all my people watching from back home. And I think again, because to the point of what you're saying, in the same respect that people don't really care, who we are, I think whether it's due to imposter syndrome or just because, you all talked about strategies and we had this conversation about systems. People saw Cat Williams' interview with Uncle Shay and was like, I'm starting the podcast tomorrow. And it's like, great, I'm glad, but it's more simple than just, you going to Best Buy, buying a Blue Yeti, and using your phone and using the webcam and think I'm just gonna start running my mouth. And, because there are statistics that show, even from a podcasting standpoint, most podcasts don't last either beyond the 3rd or the 7th episode, because it's like, because people don't start out thinking the long haul. And I have that conversation a lot about branding. Like, people, they want to be hot. They want to make it pop for the moment, but it's like, people don't want to be Conrad Hilton anymore. People don't want to be, Steve Jobs and Tim Cook and these people and Zuck and even Elon, to this point where it's like 100 years from now, if the world is even in existence, people are still going to be talking about Nicky and Moose. It's like, there was a time that they were here and the content that they dropped, they absolutely killed it. People just really everybody's for virality and they want to go viral in the moment. So when they start, people don't care, and then they don't really care about the long haul of the people. Do you feel that people are in it for the wrong reasons, or we just don't have a clue about what's the best way to really go about it?
I think it's both.
Okay.
I think it's both. So no one taught us what to do on social media, right?
That's good. Right.
So 9 out of 10 times we're getting on social media because we're seeing everybody get on social media. We think that's the thing to do, right? So whether you're going in more on just a personal consumer side, you're just getting on just to get on. If you're going on from a business side, you're going on certain platforms because you see other people get on those platforms
Facts.
and be successful.
Right.
So not necessarily you're coming in with a strategy of, okay, I have the goal of brand awareness, conversions, audience retention. I got this business, so I'm going to start off with a personal brand and I'm going to create content on these different platforms. No one's coming in like that. Rarely.
Right.
I'm not saying
Right.
no one.
Right.
Rarely. So we don't necessarily know what we're getting into. We don't know how to start. But also, at the same time, we look at other people and we copy, right? So when we copy, still don't know what we're coming in for. We're now we're now getting what their goal is and creating it for us when that's not necessarily our purpose on these platforms.
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
That's good. That's because one of the things I always say is never use somebody else's finish line to determine how you start. And so we always judge ourselves against where other people are, where they are in the race. But at the same time, it's like Riverside put out a great video today. And one of the things he was talking about in line of this conversation is, being realistic as far as with the pace that you set for yourself. Because it's like, yeah, I want the exposure Nicky has. I want the exposure that a lot of my other peers have. And I want to be with y'all at CES, and I want to be like Doc and be at Podfest and all these different types of things. But everybody doesn't necessarily want to do the work, and do everything that's ugly, nasty that people don't see to build a brand to get to that point. Because it's like, I want to be an overnight sensation, and if I just go viral 1 or 2 times, they think, there's sustainability in that. But you said something important, even about just because we do see a lot of that where people, it used to be imitation with the slightest form of flattery. And it's like, you can be inspired by people, but now you literally see folks just ripping off people. It's like, oh, that's such a style, or that's, or
that's facts.
and it's like, people are afraid, we've lost the sense of being authentic, just like you said, we didn't learn how to, exist in this social media world. Nobody taught us that. We had to learn ourselves. But now I don't know if it's a matter of attrition, if we're literally getting that older, and I don't want to blame, like the quote unquote, I sound old by saying the new generation, but it's like there's a lack of authenticity, even from a music standpoint. It's like, bro, like all you hear is saying is like, bring back the 90s and like the early 2000s, because it's like, where's the authenticity at in the content that's being created today, which I think has pushed a lot of creators to be like, I've reached that authenticity get cap. Like there's nothing else for me to do, so I gotta go.
Yeah, so it goes back to, once again, I don't come on these platforms knowing what I'm supposed to do. So your identity looks good on me, right? The success that you have, the look that you have with your videos, things like that, that's what I want. So good people, right, will create the foundation, meaning a good book to read is Steal Like an Artist, right? I may still be inspired by your setup. And apologize because my dog is going crazy beneath me. So
you good.
If you see me look down and all this stuff, it's because my dog is trying to eat my cable.
You good.
So I may look at your stuff and start there. Good people are going to build off of it. So I start with maybe the red and the blue in the background, but then I may add some yellow. I may have a different kind of vibe. I may have a different mic. I'll look at other different creators and put it in a pot and figure out my own style.
Right.
What people tend to do is get lazy. And so they see a style, they get a result that they never did before, and they stay there. Not thinking, for me, I'm never necessarily going to go past the originator's results. I may not ever go and have somebody say, that's a Nicky's video, if I only stay in the foundation.
Okay.
But for me, I'll say me, because not everybody's like this. For me, I'm not here to have the same results as other people. So I could be inspired, but I can't stay in that one place. So there's multiple brands, multiple pieces of content, multiple books, multiple things that I'm listening to, reading, watching, to have that Nicky style, to have the success that I'm supposed to have. But we look at, okay, 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, I want to get that. I'm going to follow this exact blueprint and I look exactly like that person. And some people are okay with that. Now, it may not bug them. Yo, you look exactly like this. Or I see the Gary Vee style, or I see the Alex Hormozy style. It's all over. You know what I mean? Like, some people are okay with that because they can't think what's next.
Right.
Because they didn't come with a purpose. You feel what I'm saying?
No, that's real.
It takes a moment to sit down and be like, why am I really here? How do I show up naturally? Some people are creating videos and have no business creating videos. Some people are creating tweets and threads and have no business doing that.
Facts.
You know, so it's what's happening right now. It's trending. And when you get caught up in the trends, you're going to only chase that and not really have an identity. So, yeah, I'll end it with that. I want to have a conversation because I can go.
No, you good. No, absolutely. I feel you. Do you feel like, because we were having this conversation last week, and like you said, I can talk about this all day. I'm of the mindset, and again, I don't know. Like I tell people, treat your content. You have to start thinking like it's a business. And the reason is, I think, is because number one, it gives you a different level of expectation for yourself. It requires a different level of discipline. You start thinking about sustainability. You start thinking about growth in a different way. You start thinking about planning and actually putting systems in place and having a strategy to how you approach, instead of just saying, I'm gonna go live. You know, it's like, yeah, we can do that. Some people just have the ability to turn on the camera, go live and engage and and just, they just know how to work the mic, work the camera. There are the rest of us that, we need to run a show and we need to outline, and we just need to kind of know, okay, what's my roadmap? Where am I going? I always talk about there's an audience that's assigned to your voice, but the difficulty we have is how to find that audience, because everybody is like, okay, I want to do, but I don't know what to talk about. And it's always baffling to me when I hear people say, I'm like, so why do you want to start a podcast? Like, why do you want to start a YouTube channel? Like, and the first thing you say is, I don't, this is going back to what you just said. I don't know what to talk about. So I'm like, so what's your why? Like, why do you really want to do it? Like one of the most famous TED Talk speeches by Simon Sinek is like going back, like, what's your why? It's like, so why do you really want to do this? You want to do this, so you can get 50 million views, like Club Shay Shay, you know what I'm saying? Or you can do this huge, this press release prank, like Breakfast Club did, with Just Hilarious, you know what I'm saying? Not getting the hosting job, 3 days ago, and then today, her being announced.
I wrote a whole thread about that. Whole thread.
Like,
I'm really going live about it.
You know what I'm saying? That joint, it was crazy. And so it's like people are chasing that, and it makes it difficult, because going back to the conversation you and Moose were having about, are you in the business of creating content? And I think one of my biggest battles that I had over the past several years was this whole consistency demon, because it's like, do I create for my audience? Like, do I show up live here every Monday, or do I go do a gig? You know what I'm saying? Do I show up? So it's like, I got to a place in life where it's like, I've literally showed up for everybody. Like, I have given, and some of the people closest to me didn't understand. I'm like, I don't have nothing else. Like, I don't have nothing. And I'm not in a position where, not that I don't owe you an explanation, and not that you don't deserve an explanation. I just don't have nothing to give you. Like, I've given my toenails. I don't have nothing left. And so when you I started off, the night talking about streamlining. When you get back to a place of just being centered and being grounded and say, okay, I love doing this for these particular reasons, and I know I provide value to the people that watch and listen to me, and they are rewarded. I'm rewarded by showing up for them and them showing up for me. And I try to, but there's a fine line, that balance, because I've tried this before. I've seen it before in private communities, groups, this, that, and the third. And I want you to kind of touch on this, because I know you do a lot just outside of what we're talking about now. You get burned out just trying to give yourself to your audience completely, because I can make a video right now about how to go live on ECAMM. There are 10 million other videos out there, but I can make a video right now. I can publish this. I'm going to get 10,000 questions about micro things. So not the overarching thing of me just showing you, hey, this is ECAMM. Well, how did you get that lower third to automate, when you went to that particular scene, or what is that called that you have your logo at the top? How are you and NICKY on on the screen at the same time? And now we are in the business of creating content somewhat to this. My content now has opened up a door for me to be in business with other people. But where do you draw the line between this, or does that go back to the conversation of, hey man, well, let's just be honest, you really didn't, evaluate this the right way, and you didn't set the proper expectations, so you didn't put the systems in place to kind of help you when that windfall came in? Or is there really a conversation that people are realistic about, hey man, I'm burned out, I'm tired, I love helping people, but I don't really want to do this no more. And you do a lot. You do a lot probably that you don't even talk about, that we don't know you do. So how do you find the mental capacity to be here, be with the dog right now, who's chilling, having a good time,
the problems I'm having. You see that? Bro, I'm praising God that you were talking this much.
Oh, I see you. I got you. One thing I can do is talk, but how do you find, because I think that's what a lot of people want to know. A lot of people like, bro, I'm tired. We had that conversation last week, and it's like, yo, how do you prevent, or how do you at least mitigate? Because you're supposed to be tired. You're a human. You can only do so much. But it's like, how do we prevent being all of these people who are like, I'm walking away? To feel like there's no more room or opportunity for them to serve these people that are in front of us.
There has to be a balance of you, right? So I think you've seen it, and you're kind of hinted to it. There's a whole bunch of YouTubers, just creators in general, that's just quitting, right? And one of them said it best, that even though this is kind of like a dream job to take your passion and monetize it, it's still a job, right? And if you don't know how to balance, it's going to drain you, and it's going to not be fun like anything else. We could look at it from any type of 9 to 5 job that we've ever tried, and we're super excited in the beginning. Yo, this is what I want.
Right.
Come to find out, it really isn't, and you kind of hate it.
Facts.
Right? So you have to prevent that hating stage, but you have to be realistic with what gets you there. Right?
Okay.
And this is where self-awareness comes into play. It has nothing to do with creating content, algorithm, monetization systems, all that. It has everything to do with understanding your triggers and what brings you energy and what doesn't bring you energy. Because a lot of people are doing things that actually drains their energy. Just because you are, let's say, a creator doesn't necessarily mean you like the social media side of posting and figuring out the strategy of it.
Facts.
And dealing with the metrics of that, right?
Facts.
Some people don't want to think about all the different 17 different ways you have to promote your content just to be seen. There's things that we don't put an account for, that with any type of, how do I put it? Any type of dream job, any type of thing that we love to do, or that we were called to do, there's a big picture, but there's all these little things that we have to do. And we have to be either okay with it, or we have to delegate that thing. Now, with the delegation, it could go more towards just, AI systems in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't necessarily have to be a person. For those people who are like, yo, I ain't ready to hire nobody,
Right.
Got it, right?
Right.
But there are a lot of things you should be taking inventory of, the tasks that you do when it comes to building a brand, when it comes to starting a new YouTube channel, doing a live, whatever it is. Everything has a couple of tasks that you could care less for.
Facts.
How are you getting that out of your, out of your vibe? And if you don't and you do it for so long, it's going to drain you. And as you get bigger, there's going to just be more tasks that one you weren't even ready for. What is being shown right now with, let's say, a Think Media, with even things with Mr. Beast, have never been done before.
Facts.
So there's going to be random things that you're like, oh, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think
Right.
about that. Hold on.
Right.
I gotta worry about this. I gotta think about it. My email is disgusting. My DMs are disgusting. Did I account for that? Absolutely not.
Right.
But the admin side drains me. So what do? I get an admin person, right? Get a virtual assistant.
Right.
So plus I'm not a big person, though some people are going to be like, yo, because I'm a night owl. So I'll go to sleep 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. I get 6, 7 hours of sleep every single day. I believe in rest.
Right.
You feel me?
You
I
just
go
get it at a
downstairs
different time.
right before this. I was meditating. Like, what are you doing for a recharge? Do you have? I have a recharge station. Do you have a recharge
saw that.
station
That's real.
that allows you to just chill out for a bit, calm down, maybe stop your mind from thinking, or have dedicated space to have your mind think? Because we as creators will get so much into do that we're not even thinking about the new ideas to do.
Facts.
So there's the ideas, there's planning and execution. We've been so much on the execution side of the old ideas that we've been running on that we don't even have time to think of something new.
Facts.
So it all goes towards balance, and dogs, clearly.
Clearly, you're right.
Balance, but prime example, the littlest things will create balance. I got a dog because I was working too much. So this thing right here that I love so much, but can cause headaches and almost break my camera. He makes me stop on times I don't necessarily want to stop, but clearly need to.
Gotcha. So you took on
So
a
you may have to have
responsibility
things.
to help you with responsibility. That's
Right.
that's a crazy way to look at that. Yeah.
I'm a workaholic. He makes me. He wants to say hi. Okay. You want to say? Okay. Yep. All right. He wanted to make his debut because he wanted. I was talking about him.
It's
But
all good.
you have to create different systems, even though this is not the per se system. This is my system to stop
Gotcha.
and
That's
just
good.
walk away for a minute.
That's good. In addition to that, because you kind of hinted, and I won't keep you up for a little bit longer. You kind of hinted on just systems and putting things in place and delegating. How did you get so like engrafted in AI? Because there are people that talk about AI. It's a lot of people that talk about AI. I mean, it's the hottest thing, but you are one of the few people that literally are like, you're in it. Like there's AI and then it's like, okay, who do I know? There's Nikki. Like where did that even come from? Did that come from the need to just, kind of put some systems in place or offload things? Or, did you go to a secret meeting, and find out what was going to be going on and you got it early, on the floor, cause I mean, like you are the AI queen, right? Especially for content creators, like literally anything that I could think of that it's like, yo, I don't feel like cutting up this, and making 1,000.
Oh, I can't hear you. Where'd you go? Say something.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. There you go.
Okay.
There you
Okay.
go.
Now, yeah, something weird happened. Yeah, but how did you just get so like involved in the world of AI? Like, where did that come from?
So I'm so involved in the world of content creation that I try to find anything that will help people ease that like struggle,
Mm-hmm.
right? AI came along and what people were using it for was cool. And then when I realized that people were using it for like emails and blogs, I said, oh,
Mm.
this could be used for other, if it could be used for that, that's
Mm-hmm.
content.
Right.
So let's figure out how to make it into other things. And then, once they saw that it was starting to be a lucrative trend, people were making different tools for anything. So my goal was find only the things that have to deal with content. So you're not going to hear me talk a lot about other AI products
Right.
like
Right. Right.
things to create sales email and all that. That's not going to be what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to literally stay within my genius of creating content
Smart.
and helping others create content. And how do I utilize AI and use it myself? Okay. Because there are a lot of people right now that, and some of them I'm friends with, so there's no shade, that will say all the AI tools
Mm-hmm.
and have not used none of them.
That's why I'm like, you're literally using them.
Yeah, I can't do that. Like, granted, I have to remember to cancel some of these subscriptions because I literally will jump into the subscription part, try it out the free version, because
Mm-hmm.
what I want to make sure is that regardless if you see my free content, go into my community,
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is, you are leaving with value of, should
Right.
I use this tool? Should I even try it? Is it for me in some way, shape, or form?
Right.
So it all had to do with still closing the gap of regular smegular people taking their ideas and turning it visual.
Okay.
Now, what are all the tools that will allow you to do that? Is starting to become way more easier. So before, it was extremely hard to create content. Now with AI, now with our favorite tools now adding AI features,
Mm-hmm.
it is making it a lot easier to show up on social media, to the point where, okay, what else do I do?
Right. That's dope.
So,
And because so many people were afraid, like, I think especially like this was a conversation in like graphic design circles. Like, yo, I'm gonna get replaced by Mid Journey. It's like, nah, you better learn. You better be on either. You better be on the coding side of the fence to learn how to program and come up with the prompts and be a developer on the software side, or you got to realize that it's like, yo, there's still a human touch that is going to be required, because AI has gotten so good to the point now. Let's just say let's just look at it from a job search standpoint. Like, the system can easily tell. It's like, bro, you just copied and pasted from Chat GPT, or whatever. Instead of like saying, hey, okay, this is good, but how do I still build this, around me? And I'm in it where it's like, hey, really just from a content, generation, Marshall last week, Marshall Fox, I got a chance to check out, shout out to bro, just creating your own AI. So not just using everybody else's AI tools, but I think it's MindSight, if I'm not mistaken. But being able to go in and create your own AI. So he was live. I was working on a content generation tool, just really just seeing, okay, it's like, okay, let's go ahead and plan out this content calendar, whether it's for the next quarter, the next 6 months, the next 12 months or whatever. And then still being able to go through that to say, okay, that's great. But then going back to the original conversation, that's really not going to serve my audience. Like you said, I'm not going to talk about emails, sales letters, and all those, because that's not me. I have somebody, either I'm going to let AI do that, or I have somebody else that can handle that for me. But I did just want to say I appreciate the fact that you actually do use the AI that you talk about, because like you said, it's the same thing with product reviews. Like, I hate people that just like, I would love to be a Sony artisan one day, but not for the standpoint just for everybody to put out a video at the same time just to say these are all the features. Nobody, like, I can read that, like, I know, but how did this actually affect me? Like, if I'm a photographer, how do I use this? If I'm a filmmaker, how do I use this? Like, why do I care about a universal shutter? You know, does that apply? 8K universal shutter, like, does that apply to me? You know, so the camera is dope, but do I need to buy that? You know, and so the fact that, you know, you are spending all of that money, because we're not even gonna talk about subscriptions. Like, it's like
Because
subscription.
those $10 add up. The $10,
Big time.
$20, some are 50, and then
Big
they do
time.
the 14-day for free, and then you
Right.
forget it's
You
14 day. I'm
forget.
just
You
yeah.
forget. I appreciate the companies that will be nice enough to actually send you a reminder. You know, because again, like you said, when you, I'm nowhere near as busy as a person like you, but when you're busy, you're busy. You know, busy is subjective to the life you live. You know, and like you said, when you're getting 10,000 emails a day, and some people literally are probably getting it, you know, in the thousands of emails because you're just subscribed to that many things. It's like, bro, I'm not gonna see that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all tell me everything
Facts.
else. Like, notify me. It's like, hey, bro, you got 1 day left. You know, or now what I have to do is when I sign up for a trial, I literally have to go put it on the calendar. Like, yo, like, so I get an alarm, or hey, remember, cancel this. Because it's like,
It's a
honestly,
fact.
like, you're gonna forget. If it's out of sight, if it's out of mind, you're gonna forget. But yeah, man, that's dope. I would encourage everybody that's watching, like I said, if you're in the content creation space, if you're that person that's trying to figure out, you know, okay, where do I get started? Or if you have already started, and based on the conversation we just had, where you're trying to figure out, okay, how can I take some of this off of me? You know, how can I make this easier? How can I say, man, you know, I may not have the budget to go hire an editor to take this macro long form piece of content, cut it down into bite-sized chunks, so now I can put this all over social media. You know, where can I find a tool, you know, whether it's free or paid, but that's at my budget, you know, point where I can say, hey, man, I can let somebody else do the work and have somebody that has done it. Because the one thing we always say, people buy people. People don't buy products. People buy people. You
That's
always
fact.
go look to see, yo, have you used this? Like, let me go see. Like, there's certain people I know where if I'm interested in something, I can either reach out to directly, or I can hop on YouTube or something real quick. But like, I bet you they got a video about this. You know, and so I love that. We're getting ready to wrap up. Like I said, I ain't trying to keep nobody longer than an hour. But I know you spoke at CES. You know, how was that experience?
Oh, it was amazing. Like, first, I ain't never been to a CS ever, right? So the overwhelming of tech everywhere was crazy. But the topic that I spoke about was like maximizing social media for startups, and just
Okay.
it's crazy because the what we feel is normal, as far as like everybody's on social media,
Right.
everybody's promoting, everybody
Right.
may just have a struggle of how to grow. Some people, it's different for everybody,
Right. Facts.
right? Even from an AI standpoint, like, I found there was a stat that was like only 11% of people are using AI. So though we may hear about it all the time and that whole nine, not everybody's using it.
Right.
So it's cool to go into those different areas and just find out where everybody else is at, because it almost makes you feel normal. Like, it's like, oh, okay, like, you have the same problems. You didn't know about this. You didn't know about that. So yeah, CES from a speaking standpoint was really dope. From a techie standpoint, they had every car, every AI thing, every solar situation.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was I need to go again, but just more on a like a consumer side. Let me
Gotcha.
just enjoy the situation.
Gotcha. It's like Tony Sparks Expo out there. That's what I
Yeah, yeah,
hear.
yeah,
And it
yeah.
comes around so quick, because like it's like I've been dying to get a chance to go, and I'm like, once again, I gotta say, okay, I got a plan for next January right now, because by the time July, August, September gets here, it's out of sight, out of mind. You be like, dang, CES happened already. It's like, dang, okay, all right, you know
Facts.
what's going on. But nah, that's dope. That's dope. I got a chance to see just, you know, everybody who's anybody that's out there, and before we get ready to go, let everybody, like I said, you got 1,000 different things. You are content queen of the universe. You know what I'm saying right now, and we definitely appreciate you in this space. But anything you got coming up, anything you want to promote? I mean, I know you got the podcast with you and Moose that's always jumping off. But as far as your community, anything you want to say to the people?
So just like you said, Nikki and Moose, the #1 personal branding podcast out there, personal branding and business. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
Then of course I got my private community, Deeper Than the Brand. So we take, just like how I said earlier, regular smegular people and try to figure it out together as far as this content stuff, this AI stuff, branding, building a community, monetizing. Like that's the whole vibe and the whole purpose of the community, is for us not to be alone through it. There's a lot of information, but how are we guided through it? And how do we actually execute and have the accountability? So that's Deeper Than the Brand. I'm speaking at Social Media Marketing World in February. So that's going to be a vibe. And yeah, that's it. Oh, my YouTube channel, my personal YouTube channel. I'm starting that out. You feel me?
I seen that.
Yeah, I'm trying over here. I was like, yo, it's time to take the long form a little bit serious. I've been doing the short form for so long. I was like, let me get into the long form situation. Still trying to get my bearings with that. But it's a journey. You know the vibes.
Yeah,
YouTube is a journey. YouTube will humble you too.
Real quick. I don't know if you was in the green room when I was going through that spiel, but when I came across that comment the other day, it was like, bro, like you talk too much.
Yeah,
like,
because YouTube, between YouTube and TikTok, will attract the most craziest people. It's like the other platforms are meant for your audience. YouTube and TikTok will put you out to the wolves and then see if there's anybody who likes you.
Facts.
It's the craziest thing. When I started doing Nikki and Moose, we had the most craziest comments. And I was like, I'm not used to this. I'm too New York for this. This is not gonna work out right. But I've learned to learned to have this rule of I gotta let it go unless I have time.
Oh, that's good. I always
if I have time, I will educate you.
Facts.
However, if I don't, like there was one clip on Nikki and Moose where I talked about Jordans, right? Like I bought 2 Jordans. They clipped it up. Of course, we're in clip, a clip universe right now.
Right.
And people roasted me. Like roasted. You are hype beast. How do you not know? You didn't read. And it was hundreds of comments.
Wow.
I said, oh, y'all don't know me. This is cool. I'm fine with this. Bring the attention. I'm okay with that.
Facts.
I made an honest mistake. I bought 2 that I didn't know. Great. I was more concerned about one. And yeah, they roasted me. I said, this almost may not be for me. This
and people feel empowered when they're not in front of your face. You know, that's the thing. And I think the good thing for me is I was a musician. And so one of my biggest regrets, but one of the things I appreciated, I think like when I was in school, this was around about 06, 07. We were in YouTube heavy. And so in the musician space, you know, you get humbled real fast, especially if you think you nice. Nah, especially if you're a drummer. And YouTube is still, YouTube, Instagram, social is still kind of like that, but it's nowhere near what it was at the time. And man, like it would make you, literally want to throw hands with people. But luckily having that experience through that, because I haven't gotten anything compared to some of the comments I got regarding like playing drums. And I know I have peers that I'm sitting here like, yeah, I ain't playing no more. I was all right. I don't want no slouch, Now, I'm like, I can hold my own, period. I know
Yeah.
who I am and who I'm not, but I'm like, bro, y'all
Yeah.
not about to disrespect me like this. Like, no, like, and I work,
Yeah.
and I work in IT. I will search, backlog your IP address and pull up on you real fast. I think that's the thing people don't know. I'll be like, now some folks I let live. A lot of people, I'm like, y'all do know I'm a real techie, right? Like,
I
don't
really
talk
do
about
this in
it,
real life.
but I really, there are ways I can find you. But, you know, we ain't gonna put that out there because I don't need no demonetization strikes and nobody coming at me sideways or nothing crazy. But it's like, no, I can really find you. But yeah, it'll humble you real quick. And it's just an opportunity. Like the last comment I was talking about, I was like, bro, like real talk, I appreciate it. Because this is something that I won't say battling with. I know what I'm gonna do at the end of the day, but it's definitely something I'm keeping in mind. But I'm like, bro, you one out of the 1,000 comments that's like, okay, if 999 people say great job and one person says you suck, we live in a society now, sad to say, people are gonna lose their minds over the one you suck. And it's like, yo, like 999 people said you were great. Like, what's going on? You know, is that magnified? Is that magnified? But Nikki, listen, I appreciate you so much. Like I said, it's 8:09. I'm not gonna hold you. Thank you for everything, you know what I'm saying, you're doing and continuing to do. Y'all, I appreciate y'all coming through tonight. Y'all already know what to do. Go subscribe to her channel, Nikki Saunders. Also go check out, you know what I'm saying, Nikki and Moose the podcast. It really is like that. Some of y'all, I can tell you don't listen to podcasts. I can tell. Hey, we ain't gonna talk about that. But I can tell. Now I'm not gonna hold people for not reading, you know, but I'm like, if you're not gonna read in 2024, at least listen. You know, at least listen to something. And I can tell, like, some of y'all don't be abreast on things like you should be. But that's neither here nor there, because I appreciate you being here and listening to me talk. But like I said, we will be back here next Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Y'all already know what it is. Feel free, like I said, if this is your first time coming by, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and definitely hit the bell so you can be notified every single time we drop a new content to the channel. But until next time, I'll holler at y'all. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Y'all have a good night. Be easy.